On the radiant afternoon of May 8, 2025, Bristol Cathedral stood as a beacon of remembrance, its ancient stone facade glowing under a spring sun, its spires piercing a sky of unbroken blue. The cathedral precincts, nestled in the heart of Bristol's bustling city centre, hummed with the warmth of a community gathered to mark the 80th anniversary of VE Day, the air alive with the scent of blooming lilacs and the faint clink of teacups from stalls lining College Green. Wartime melodies. We'll meet again. The white cliffs of Dover drifted from a brass band, their nostalgic notes weaving through the chatter of families, veterans, and visitors, their Union Jacks and poppy pins fluttering in a gentle breeze. The green was a vibrant mosaic. Children waved paper flags. Elders shared stories of 1945, and volunteers in bright vests guided crowds to wreath-laying ceremonies. At a modest tea stall near the cathedral's west door, Edith Mayhew, an 88-year-old grandmother, arranged her thermos and cups, her dusty apron tied with care, its faded floral pattern a quiet emblem of decades of service. Young volunteers, mistaking her weathered appearance for insignificance, mocked her apron, their laughter a jarring note in the day's reverence. But a historian's resolve and the mayor's voice unveiled the wartime hero, transforming scorn into honor and sparking a legacy that warmed hearts far beyond Bristol's borders. For those who've been underestimated yet endured, cherished the quiet sacrifice of unsung heroes, or been moved by a truth that silenced the doubt, this story of Edith's dignity, a historian's discovery, and a community's embrace will stir your soul. Join us in celebrating these moments of selfless valor by subscribing for more tales that reveal the strength hidden in a humble apron. Comment. Honor her below. To stand with Edith and salute her enduring legacy. Edith Mayhew, 88, was a woman of unyielding grace. Her petite frame and trembling hands etched with the trials of a life devoted to others, her green eyes shimmering with memories of courage and loss. Born in 1937 in a terraced house in Bedminster, Bristol, Edith grew up amidst the Great Depression's shadow, her childhood shaped by her mother, a seamstress, whose tales of nursing in the Great War sparked a girl's dream of healing. At 17, she trained as a nurse, joining Bristol Royal Infirmary in 1954. But her true crucible came in 1940, at 20, during the Bristol Blitz. As Luftwaffe bombs rained on the city, Edith served with the Voluntary Aid Detachment, VAD, her nurse's cape a beacon in the rubble-strewn streets, her hands steady as she bandaged wounds, carried stretchers, and comforted the dying in makeshift shelters. Night after night, she braved air raids, saving dozens factory workers, children, ARP wardens, her courage earning her the King's Commendation for brave conduct, a rare civilian honor. Its certificate now yellowed, tucked in a drawer. Edith, you're our angel. Keep them breathing. A doctor had said amidst a burning ward, words that guided her through the war's end, post-war nursing, and retirement in 1995, settling in Clifton with her husband, Albert, a dock worker. Edith raised two daughters, Rose and Lily, her Blitz stories shared over Sunday teas. Her apron worn since 1940, still used for community events. Widowed in 2005, Edith lived alone in a cozy flat overlooking the Avon. Her annual VE Day tea stall at the cathedral, a vow to honor the fallen. Her goal steadfast keep their memory alive. Serve as she always had. Live with the quiet pride of a survivor. They're still with me. Every bandage, every cry. She'd murmur, tying her apron. Its floral pattern faded, her green eyes steady, her heart anchored in the fiery nights of 1940. To you, who've carried a legacy of service perhaps through a family's wartime tales, a memento of sacrifice, or a promise to remember Edith's devotion, might echo a time when you felt the past's call, when memory fueled your purpose, when you stood to honor those who endured. The scene at Bristol Cathedral on May 8, 2025, was a vibrant tapestry of celebration. The precincts transformed into a living tribute to VE Day, marking the moment Europe found peace in 1945. The sun bathed College Green in golden light, illuminating Union Jacks, Allied flags, and banners proclaiming 80 years of victory. Crowds swelled to thousands, veterans in blazers, their medals from Normandy to Malaya glinting, families, children clutching VE Day programs, and tourists, their cameras capturing the cathedral's Gothic arches. A brass band played wartime hits, Pack Up Your Troubles, Lifting Spirits, followed by a choir singing Land of Hope and Glory, its harmony stirring tears. Wreaths of poppies and laurel lay at a temporary memorial, a stone plinth inscribed Victory in Europe. 8 May 1945, its surface dotted with notes for Grandad, Bristol Blitz for Mum, VJ Day. Volunteers in bright vests guided visitors, their smiles warm, their poppy pins bright, the air rich with the scent of tea, scones, and grass warmed by the sun. Edith arrived, her steps slow, her arthritis flaring in the spring warmth, her floral dress neat, her dusty apron tied, a thermos of tea and a tray of cups on her stall, its wooden frame adorned with a small Union Jack. She set up near the cathedral's west door, her goal to serve tea as she had for decades, to honor the Blitz's fallen patients, nurses, neighbors, her green eyes steady with quiet pride, her apron a banner of her youth. But her dusty apron and frail gait drew mocking eyes, young volunteers nearby whispering, their smirks a blemish on the day's reverence, their laughter a shadow on Edith's steadfast purpose. To you, who've stood in a moment of remembrance perhaps at a festival, a memorial, or a ceremony where history breathed Edith's presence, might recall when you felt the past's warmth, when sacrifice was tangible, when you stood to honor the resilient amidst the crowd's shared joy. At her stall, Edith poured tea, her thermos steaming, her cups arranged with care, her voice soft over the band's fading notes. Tea for the fallen. Love. The young volunteers, 3 students in their late teens, clad in VE Day vests, stood at a nearby stall selling poppy pins, their clipboards heavy with donor names, their eyes flicking to Edith's apron, its floral pattern faded, its hem frayed. Tom Harper, 19, a history student from Redland, smirked, his voice sharp. That apron's a relic fit for a museum. Gran, his mates, Lucy Grant, 18 from Easton, and Jack Patel, 19 from St. Paul's, chuckled, Grant whispering, "She's just a granny, not a war hero." Patel grinned, mimicking Edith's slow pour. Bet she's serving tea from 1945. Their laughter, though hushed, carried, drawing glances from the crowd, a few veterans frowning, a family nearby shifting, their daughter clutching a poppy wreath, her father whispering, "That's not right, is it, love?" A veteran in a blazer, his ARP badge pinned, glared, his wife muttering, "No respect these days." Edith stayed calm, her dignity unshaken, her green eyes meeting Harper's, her reply gentle but firm. "It's seen more than you know, lad." She adjusted her thermos, its steam curling, her hands trembling but steady, her blitz training calm under bombs, focus amidst chaos, holding her fast, her silence a shield against their scorn. The crowd's mood wavered, some veterans muttering. A woman in a poppy dress snapping, "Show some respect, for heaven's sake." Her son nodding. Their programs clutched tightly. Edith's resolve was a quiet beacon. Her presence a link to 1940s burning streets. Her apron a truth the volunteers couldn't see. Their mockery a test of her lifelong vow to honor her patients. Their names Mary, Tommy, Elsie etched in her heart. To you, who faced ridicule for your truth, perhaps a symbol dismissed as outdated, a story doubted as trivial, or a moment when laughter stung Edith's composure might resonate, recalling when you stood firm, when your dignity was your strength, when you carried on despite scorn's bite. Among the crowd, Sarah Wells, 35, a local historian, stood near the tea stall, her notebook filled with VE Day notes, her auburn hair tied back, her blue eyes sharp with the instincts of a scholar who'd spent years researching Bristol's Blitz. Sarah, a volunteer with the Bristol History Society, was documenting the event, her camera capturing the cathedral's arches, the band's scarlet tunics, the wreath's vivid petals. Her recent project, a book on Bristol's wartime women, had uncovered VAD nurses' stories, their courage a thread in the city's resilience. Her mother's tales of a Blitz nurse aunt shaping her work. Sarah. Every nurse was a hero, find their names. Sarah had noticed Edith's stall, her gaze lingering on the apron, its floral pattern familiar from 1940s photos in her archives, a nurse's mark from the war's darkest nights. The volunteers' laughter grated Harper's relic jibe, Grant's granny whisper, Patel's mimicry striking a nerve, her mother's voice echoing, "Never let a hero's service be mocked." She hesitated, her role as a historian urging neutrality. But Edith's quiet dignity, her apron, her thermos, stirred her, a clue to a past worth defending. The apron a question demanding an answer. As Patel's mimicry drew another chuckle, Sarah acted, her voice low but firm, addressing Harper. "That's enough. She's a veteran." She stepped closer, her eyes on Edith's apron, her mind racing Blitz nurse, VAD. That pattern meant service, sacrifice. She pulled her phone, its screen glowing in the sunlight, and called the mayor's office, reaching Councillor David Wilcox, 50, the event's organizer. Her words, urgent, David. "There's a woman here, Edith Mayhew, serving tea, old apron, being mocked. I think she's a Blitz nurse. Can you check civic records, Wilcox?" Busy with VIP greetings. Paused, his tone sharp. "Mayhew. You say I'll check." Sarah stood by Edith, her notebook lowered, her presence a quiet shield. The volunteers' laughter fading, Harper's smirk faltering, Grant shuffling, Patel's grin gone. The crowd watching, the band's silence a canvas for the moment's rising tension, the cathedral's shadow a reminder of why they gathered. To you, who've sensed injustice and acted perhaps defending someone's honor, challenging scorn, or seeking truth amidst doubt, Sarah's resolve might mirror a time when you spoke up, when you trusted your instincts, when you stood for respect against a tide of mockery, knowing right from wrong. The truth arrived like a burst of sunlight, shattering the volunteer's scorn and rewriting the afternoon's narrative in an instant. Wilcox, at his office in City Hall, accessed Bristol's civic archives, his assistant pulling wartime records, her screen illuminating with Edith's file, Mayhew. Edith, VAD nurse, Bristol Blitz, 1940 to 1941. King's Commendation for brave conduct. saved dozens under air raids, treated wounded in burning wards, risked life nightly. The citation, scanned from a 1942 Gazette, detailed Edith's courage, her rescues in bombed streets, her care in blazing hospitals, her commendation presented by the Lord Mayor at Bristol's Guildhall. Wilcox's eyes widened, his schedule forgotten, his voice clear as he called Sarah back. Urgency cutting through the noise. Sarah. Edith Mayhew's a hero. She saved dozens in the Blitz, braved bombs, got the King's commendation. That apron's the real deal. Get her to the wreath laying. Full honors. Now. Sarah's breath caught, her phone lowered, her blue eyes locking on Edith, who stood at her stall, her thermos steaming, her green eyes calm, unaware of the call's seismic impact. She approached the volunteers, her voice low but cutting, her authority rooted in truth. You mocked a Blitz hero. Edith Mayhew saved dozens in 1940 under bombs. Show respect. Now, Harper, Grant, and Patel froze, their smirks vanishing, their clipboards lowered, their faces flushed with shame. Harper's eyes darting to the ground, Grant swallowing hard, Patel's hands trembling. The crowd murmured. A veteran in a blazer, his ARP badge pinned, whispering to his daughter, King's commendation. That's proper bravery. A tourist, filming, caught Sarah's words, the volunteer's silence, Edith's quiet dignity at her stall, the clip spreading on X within minutes, titled Blitz Hero, honored at VE Day and shared thousands of times. Its caption, bold, volunteers mocked her apron. Mayor set them straight. Sarah turned to Edith, her voice softening, her posture respectful. Mrs. Mayhew, the mayor confirms your service. You're a hero. Ma'am, please, come with us to lay a wreath. Edith paused, her thermos still, her green eyes meeting Sarah's. A faint nod her thanks, her silence a testament to a heroism that needed no fanfare. Her apron adjusted, her dress proud in the sunlight. To you, who've seen a revelation shift a moment, perhaps a truth that silenced critics, a hero's past unveiled, or a moment when honor prevailed. Sarah's call might recall a time when you witnessed justice done, when a story was set right, when respect replaced ridicule in a heartbeat. The VE Day celebration transformed into a tribute to Edith's sacrifice, her escort to the cathedral's memorial, a moment of profound reverence that rippled through College Green. A group of volunteers as senior event stewards, their vests bright flanked Edith, their nods respectful, their steps slow to match hers, the crowd parting, their murmurs turning to cheers, cameras flashing, phones raised. The sun climbed higher, casting the cathedral's arches in sharp relief, the band striking up Jerusalem, its soaring notes a hymn of pride that lifted every heart. Edith entered the cathedral, her steps steady, her wreath of poppies clutched tightly, its petals vivid against her floral dress. Sarah at her side, her notebook tucked away, her blue eyes warm with respect. At the memorial, a stone altar inscribed for peace. 8th May, 1945. Edith laid her wreath, its placement deliberate, her hands trembling as she smoothed the petals, her voice breaking in a whisper, for my patients, Mary, Tommy, Elsie, all of you. Her green eyes glistened, tears tracing her weathered cheeks, her apron loose, her King's Commendation certificate, brought by Wilcox, held by Sarah, its text a map of sacrifice. The crowd, now thousands, erupted in applause, a thunderous wave that echoed through the precincts, veterans standing, their medals glinting, their nods slow but proud, A woman in a poppy dress sobbing, her husband's arm around her. Tourists lowering phones to clap, their faces awed. A child waving a paper flag, her mother whispering, "That's a real hero, darling." Mayor Wilcox, 50, the event's officiant, stepped forward, his suit crisp, his voice clear over the band's fading notes. "Today, we honor Edith Mayhew, King's Commendation recipient, a hero of the Bristol Blitz who saved dozens and reminds us why we celebrate to cherish sacrifice." His nod, mirrored by stewards, volunteers, and veterans, was a wave across the green. Edith smiling faintly, her thermos left behind, her heart full, her apron a banner of her youth. To you, who've seen a hero celebrated, perhaps a veteran honored, a wrong made right, or a moment when sacrifice shone, Edith's wreath-laying might mirror a time when you witnessed valor lifted high, when respect drowned out scorn, when a quiet woman became a legend in a single, sacred act. The moment's impact didn't fade. It blossomed, a spark that ignited Bristol's pride and rippled globally, carried by voices, screens, and hearts. A plaque was proposed by Wilcox, backed by the crowd's roar and the cathedral's community Mayhew Tea Corner. Its design a bronze teapot and nurse's cape. Inscribed, "For Edith Mayhew, hero of the Bristol Blitz, VE Day 2025, whose care lives in memory." The announcement, made as the crowd lingered, drew cheers. Veterans raising poppies, families clapping, tourists sharing photos. The plan trending on X under Mayhew Tea Corner. Posts flooding Edith's plaque "Is our pride, Mayhew Tea Corner forever." The viral clip, Sarah's reprimand. The volunteers' silence. Edith's wreath-laying. Wilcox's speech spread globally. Titled "Blitz Hero Honored at VE Day" and shared millions of times. Hashtags, Our Hero's Apron, #VE80. Salute, Mayhew lighting up feeds from Bristol's pubs to Berlin's cafes, from Auckland's schools to Boston's offices. Comments poured in, a digital chorus of awe. Edith's the Blitz's heart, dozens save Sarah's respect, is Bristol's soul. Shame on those volunteers. A veteran, Mrs. Clara Evans, 82, a former land girl, spoke to ITV at the cathedral. Her voice, thick. "Edith nursed my brother in 40. She's a saint." Her words, clipped into a viral post, trended under Mayhew's care, shared by hospitals, schools, and families, silencing any lingering whispers of the volunteers' shame. Harper, Grant, and Patel, reprimanded and retrained, wrote apologies, delivered to Edith by Sarah, their handwriting neat. "Mrs. Mayhew, we're sorry. Your courage humbles us." Edith read them, her green eyes softening, her reply simple, sent via her daughter. "Rose no grudge. Dears, serve well." The exchange, shared on Schwumj, trended under #Mayhew forgives, posts praising. "That's a nurse's heart. Edith's grace is everything to you, who've seen a moment redefine respect. Perhaps a humble act that shifted perceptions, a hero story that united, or a wrong righted by truth. Edith's honor might recall a time when you saw sacrifice celebrated, when respect rose above scorn, when a single act rewrote a community's heart." The legacy took root swiftly. Edith's story, a beacon that illuminated Bristol's pride and inspired a broader awakening. Schools across Somerset, Gloucestershire, and beyond adopted her tale. Teachers crafting lessons titled "Blitz Heroes," their classrooms alive with stories of Edith's rescues, her bandages in burning wards, her king's commendations shine. Students, from primary to sixth form, drew nurses, their sketchbooks filled with quotes from wartime gazettes, their questions eager. How did she keep going? What was the Blitz like? Assemblies featured her story. A Clifton school projecting the X-clip, Sarah's voice echoing. She saved dozens in 1940. Kids crafted poppy wreaths, their paper petals pinned to boards, their chants of Edith, Edith ringing in playgrounds. Locals, inspired by Edith's moment, shared their stories at the cathedral's community talks, their voices strong, their photos of Blitz survivors displayed, their wreaths placed with new pride, crowds listening, their questions heartfelt. Did you know Mayhew? What was nursing like a campaign? Serve their memory. Launched in partnership with Bristol City Council, the NHS, and the Royal British Legion. Its mission to teach heroes' stories, to ensure no apron was mocked, no sacrifice overlooked. Its posters a teapot and a nurse's cape, captioned, "Every hero has a story," appeared in schools, hospitals, churches, and community centers, translated into Welsh, Punjabi, Polish, and Spanish for global reach. Their message clear: see the service, not the wear. Murals sprang up, each a tribute to Edith's valor in Bedminster, her silhouette against a bombed street. Captioned, "Care," in Cardiff. A teapot and poppies, Kofio, in Sydney. Valor with a nurse's cape, in Toronto. Bravery with a maple leaf. Ex-posts multiplied, a global tapestry of respect. Taught my class about Mayhew's rescues. A Bristol teacher wrote, attaching a photo of student drawings. Started a nursing club, inspired by Edith. A Bath youth leader posted, sharing a wreath. Saluted a nurse today, thinking of Sarah. A Melbourne medic shared, pinning a digital poppy. The campaign's reach was profound. Schools reported students more engaged with wartime history. Hospitals saw younger volunteers. Communities hosted memory days with talks, teas, and silence. Their posters echoing Edith's apron, Sarah's call, Wilcox's speech, Harper's lesson, Grant's shame, Patel's silence. To you, who've seen a story spark a movement, perhaps a tale that changed hearts, a hero's legacy that grew, or a moment that united generations, Edith's impact might mirror a time when you saw honor ignite change, when respect became a shared vow, when a quiet act reshaped how the world remembered. Edith's life, post-ceremony, became a quiet celebration of her legacy. Her Clifton flat, a haven of memory and gratitude. Her kitchen table overflowed with letters from children, their words in crayon and ink. Dear Mrs. Mayhew, you're our hero. Thank you for saving dozens. I want to nurse like you. She read each one, her green eyes misty, her fingers tracing their drawings of nurses, teapots, and poppies, her heart warmed by their sincerity. Her apron, once tucked away, now hung on a hook, its floral pattern a map of sacrifice, displayed beside a photo of Albert, his smile, eternal, and a new frame, Sarah's note, delivered post-ceremony. Its words, handwritten Mrs. Mayhew, your courage inspires us all. Thank you for your care. Edith visited the cathedral monthly, her steps steadier with a new cane, a gift from the cathedral staff, its handle carved with a poppy, its wood polished. Volunteers greeted her, their nods respectful, Their voices warm. Mrs. Mayhew, welcome back. Ma'am visitors, recognizing her from X, asked for photos. Their respect clear. You're the Blitz nurse, aren't you? She'd nod, her dress neat, her reply soft. Just a nurse, doing my bit. Sarah, now a lead historian with the Bristol History Society, shared Edith's story in talks at schools and museums. Her voice firm, her slides showing the apron, the wreath, the blitz. See the apron, not the wear. Every hero's a story. Audiences listened, their questions eager, their halls buzzing with her name. Mayhew's a legend, proper hero. Harper, Grant, and Patel, reassigned to community service, carried Edith's lesson. Their apologies pinned in their dorms, their volunteering now marked by respect, their mates joking, don't mock an apron. Mates might be a Mayhew. To you, who've carried a legacy forward, perhaps mentoring with a story, honoring a hero's truth, or seeing your actions live in others. Edith's quiet pride might recall a time when you kept memory alive, when your respect inspired, when your stand shaped a future. The Serve. Their memory campaign grew, its impact a testament to Edith's story, its reach touching schools, hospitals, and communities worldwide. Bristol's primary schools launched Mayhew Days, kids wearing poppy pins, their classrooms filled with models of Blitz shelters, their teachers reading wartime citations, their cheers for Edith echoing. Secondary students in Somerset and Gloucestershire wrote essays, their titles bold, Why Mayhew's Rescues Matter, The King's Commendations Truth. Their words shared on school X accounts, trending under Nashash, serve their memory. Universities in Bristol and Exeter hosted history panels. Edith's story a centerpiece. Their audiences students, professors, retirees asking, how do we honor like Sarah hospitals? From Bristol Royal Infirmary to Cardiff's Heath, adopted Mayhew drills, training nurses to share their stories, to salute service. Their manuals updated with Edith's citation. Her photo a staple. The NHS saw a surge in young volunteers, their training citing Edith, their funds rising, their voices clear. Every nurse is a Mayhew. Listen to them. Communities beyond the UK joined schools in Toronto taught Edith's rescues. Their English posters bold care. Communities in Auckland hosted Poppy Days. Their Maori captions clear Aroha. Libraries in Cape Town displayed Serve Their Memory posters. Their Afrikaans translations, Vivid Dapperheid. Murals multiplied in Bedminster. Edith's silhouette against a bombed street. Care in Swansea, a teapot and poppies. Kofio in Delhi. Shaurya with stars. In Melbourne, Toe with a nurse's cape. Post swelled. A global chorus. Shared Mayhew's story with my nurses. A London medic wrote, made a poppy wreath for Edith. A Chicago student posted, stood silent for heroes, inspired by Sarah. A Dublin teacher shared, attaching a candle photo. The campaign's legacy was tangible. Hospitals reported nurses feeling seen. Schools saw history engagement soar. Communities bridged generations with poppy ceremonies. Their posters echoing Edith's apron, Sarah's call, Wilcox's speech, Harper's lesson, Grant's shame, Patel's silence. To you, who've seen a movement unite, perhaps a cause that bonded strangers, a story that inspired action, or a moment that lived beyond its day, Edith's legacy might mirror a time when you felt history's embrace, when respect wove a tapestry, when a quiet act became a global vow. The Mayhew Tea Corner plaque, approved for unveiling in May 2026, was planned as a centerpiece of Bristol's VE Day. Its ceremony is set to draw thousands veterans. Nurses, Sarah, Rose, Wilcox, and local leaders, their poppies raised, their nods a wave, the cathedral alive with pride. The design, finalized by a Bristol artist, featured a bronze teapot and nurse's cape. Its inscription etched deep for Edith Mayhew, hero of the Bristol Blitz. V-Day 2025, whose care lives in memory. A model of the plaque, displayed at the cathedral's visitor center, drew crowds, their fingers tracing its lines, their whispers reverent. That's for Mayhew, the nurse. Bristol's mayor hosted a fundraising gala for the plaque. Edith, the guest of honor. Her King's Commendation certificate displayed. Her speech brief but piercing. For my patients, Mary, Tommy, Elsie, always. The room, 300 strong, stood, their applause a roar, their glasses raised. X capturing it under hashtag Mayhew. Honored. Posts reading Edith's words broke my heart. Bristol's proud, the BBC aired a documentary. Mayhew's Care, a Hero's Apron. Its footage weaving Edith's 1940 rescues. Sarah's call, the wreath laying. Harper's apology. Grant's silence, Wilcox's speech, Rose's pride. Its viewership soaring to millions. Its message unequivocal honor lives in service, courage in humility. Edith, at home, framed Sarah's note beside Albert's photo. Her apron hung, its floral pattern a story. Her flat, a shrine to memory. Rose visited weekly, their teas filled with stories, blitz nights. Albert's laugh. The son of 2025, her pride clear. You're my hero. Mum always were. Sarah. At her history talks, mentored students. Her office displaying a poppy wreath. Her lesson shaped by Edith respect starts with seeing. To you, who've honored a hero's truth perhaps with a nod to a veteran, a stand for memory, or a moment that valued sacrifice. Edith and Sarah's story is a call to stand with respect, to keep care alive, to remember the silent with love. Edith's monthly visits to the cathedral became a ritual of reverence. Her cane steady, her dress neat, her apron retired. Volunteers greeting her with nods, their voices warm. Mrs. Mayhew, ma'am, good to see you visitors. Recognizing her from school, shared selfies, their captions glowing. Met the Blitz nurse children. On school trips, waved, their teachers pointing, that's Edith Mayhew, save it dozens. The cathedral staff gifted her a lifetime pass to events. Its card embossed with a poppy. Their dean saying, you're our heart, Mrs. Mayhew. She'd smile, her green eyes crinkling. Her reply soft, just a nurse. Doing my bit. The campaign spread globally. Schools in Berlin taught Edith's rescues. Their German posters bold Pflege. Communities in Lagos hosted puppy days. Their Yoruba captions clear Itoju. Murals in Delhi, Shaurya with stars, drew crowds. Hospitals worldwide adopted, served their memory. Their training citing Mayhew. Their nurses saluting veterans. Their ex-posts vibrant. Honored a nurse, Mayhew style, a Bristol schoolgirl. Inspired. Started a Poppy Nurses Club. Kids writing to veterans. Their letters reaching Edith. Her replies. Need keep their care alive, little one. The plaque's unveiling, planned for 2026, was set to stream live. Buzzing with anticipation. Mayhew Tea Corner Live. Edith, at home. Read a letter from a Canadian child, Mrs. Mayhew. You saved people in bombs, how? She smiled. Her pen moving. For my patience. You find the strength. For you, who've carried a story's weight, perhaps a moment that changed your path. A lesson that lived in your actions. Or a truth that shaped your world, this tale of Edith. Sarah, Wilcox, Harper, Grant, Patel. And a tea corner is a call to salute with respect, to keep memory brewing, to honor the silent with love. Share your story. Have you saluted a hero, righted a wrong, stood for sacrifice? Subscribe for more tales of heart and courage. And join us in raising awareness, stand with honor, live with respect, love with memory. Click the bell, share with someone who cherishes heroes. And let's salute the apron that cares, the truth that restores, the legacy that endures. In a nurse, a historian, and a corner that honors forever.